Welcome to the Walker Talkers. AA Ron here.
And Raider Pete, of course.
So we're here, like last week, in our full Walker glory. How you doing tonight, Platinum Productions?
Oh, Platinum Productions is here to join us for not just any Walker Talker episode, but a PanNerdia Paniversary, the first.
That's right. I have been streaming all damn day over on the PanNerdia Twitch channel with the first ever 1 year Paniversary. Because you know, it's been a year since PanNerdia's been established, and well, the Walker Talkers being the first show, we had to close off the day proper.
Yeah. That's all I got.
So we wanted to start off tonight's episode like we have in the past, with an opening sequence, and we'd like to present it to you in our Walker forms.
Yes. I mean, the other thing is that the fact that we always like to pick a good Walker scene, because, you know, some episodes only have one or two Walkers, some others have hundreds, thousands of them. So it's hard to pick the best one, but sometimes you just got to pick the one that makes you smile and laugh.
Yes, and this one especially made us chuckle, so we watched it a few times. So why don't you guys join us in a nice, fun little viewing of a nice opening scene here. Let me make sure everything's ready to go, and here we go.
You forgot. Uh-oh, let's see. We'll test this guy. Oh, God! Dinner time!
Oh, we could just put that on loop and go, whoa, whoa. Oh, there's Badass Michonne getting ready.
The fact that Daryl's like shooting ducks in a barrel at at a fair, you know, like shoot this one in the leg, he's still walking. Shoot the next one. Good God!
So, yeah, guys, now since we went ahead and blasted you with that opening scene, which we love, by the way, we had a couple choices to pick from,
Yeah.
but I think ultimately we chose right.
Yes, and as we go along throughout the program, we'll talk about 2 or 3 other scenes that we came in second place.
So let's go ahead and get resurrected, and we'll be right back to start the show proper, guys.
And resurrection.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to PanNerdia. AA Round here.
Raider Pete, what's happening?
And we're back in action here with Season 9 of The Walking Dead. Episode 9, you're right. So, yeah, guys, the 1 year Paniversary is almost over, and wanted to end it with a nice TWT of the TWD.
That's
and
right.
yeah, let's go ahead and get started with, well, a proper synopsis, shall we?
Yeah, this synopsis, I think, is a nice little broken down into 3 parts. There's Negan, then there's Daryl and Michonne together, then there's, well, Alpha. That's the biggest reveal about this episode. But we'll start off with Negan. Negan gathers clothes, a compass, veggies, and water. Judith catches and releases him. He journeys on foot, experiencing the warmth of the sun, lunch crasher walkers, which was pretty cool. That was one of the scenes we thought about using. Stream water puking in the official clearing spot where Glenn and Abraham got their heads bashed in. So that was semi-satisfying. I'm like, him puking there is one thing, but him getting like mutilated there would be a little bit nice for Raider Pete. But you know, I digress. Also, he scores a new leather jacket via a canine chase, and you know, those wild dogs almost got him, but he got away. But the main thing is he discovers the sanctuary is an abandoned shell, thus giving up on his journey, only to have Judith follow up on her promise to shoot if she sees him again.
She held that promise.
She said, I'll shoot. She said, I'll shoot you, or whatever, but she did, and she shot him. Somehow he found one of Daryl's, like, old bikes, because remember he had, like, kind of a bike factory going on in there in seasons past, but you know, she saw him again, and I guess they're headed back to Alexandria, and that's that story. But the rest of the synopsis, basically, Daryl and Michonne led the slaying of Whispers and Walkers during the retreat from the cemetery. Yumiko and Magna show their worth, helping journey dead Jesus and crippled Eugene back
Yeah.
Daryl and Michonne, though, did share a tender moment, especially when she said thanks for after. So those scars that they have,
It has to be about that.
it's just that two of them that have the scars that was revealed, I read. And something happened either bad to them or it's an homage to like a brotherhood thing because of Rick. Or I'm not sure. I think something bad happened.
I think something bad happened and they got caught up in it. You're right.
So after the covered bridge scene that we just showed you, that experiment with the shooting in the legs, the group ends up with a Whisperer as a prisoner, who we find out later is Lydia and most likely Alpha's teenage daughter.
Yeah.
On the return home at Hilltop, though, all the Hilltops are stunned by Jesus' death, walking in with his body. Tammy, of course, I want justice, and the screenshot of Rosita and Sadiq. The screenshot of Sadiq and Rosita there, though, I have to interrupt the synopsis. I have to say that was pretty revealing. It sent my Rosita pimp alarm off later on. I was like, why are they both look like they're in their pajamas, like they just walked out of the the trailer together? Now, I found out later that she hooked up with him before Gabriel, but that's beside the point. We'll get to that in character section.
Man, she
but
gets around, huh?
She does, but you know what? She should get what she wants. I mean, look at her.
Right? Why not? Yeah, you're right.
Tara and Michonne interrogate the prisoner Lydia and get mainly lies from this girl until Daryl steps inside the cell for some extra intimidation that leads Henry, who's, by the way, jailed again. I don't know why. Would he get drunk again? He feels someone up?
Yeah, they didn't explain that part unless he wasn't jailed the last scene.
I think he was supposed to get out at that moment, but Daryl was using his brains. I'm like, I'm gonna leave him in here, and that leads to the rest of this synopsis, which is he's eavesdropping while he finally hears some information worthwhile come out of her, because while he's listening from the basement window, he can hear Henry find out her name's Lydia. Like, they didn't even get that much out of her.
Yeah.
But she knows with that sly look on her face, like, I'm going to poison this kid.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of like Carl and that character in the comics. Henry's kind of taken that place.
One moment, Platinum Productions says, Happy Paniversary. Well, thank you, Platinum Productions. He also says that the movie Encounters is well on its way. I guess that's what you've been busy on. We're looking forward to that one. I've been watching your little shorts. A lot of fun. Cannot wait until Encounters. I like the Leo, by the way. Lost Leo, right? I like that one a lot. But yeah, looking forward to it, Platinum. Continue.
Oh, there's only one last part of the synopsis, and that's Alpha Whisperer Group. Her group, or at least one of them, is spotted going southbound by Alden and Luke, they're following a peculiar Yumiko arrow trail. I don't think Yumiko put those arrows there. I'm sure the Alpha did, but this trail proves deadly after the walker attached to a fourth of a walker, which I like to call the ball and chain walker, which is one of the walker scenes we thought of putting up there.
We did.
Because it's very unique. The unique ones usually get up there, but sometimes you got to put a funny one in there that's also revealing, and that's what we did. But Alden and Luke, they get captured ultimately by Alpha's group, and it's a spooky ending because the way that they pop up and they're just sort of standing like sporadically all around them out of nowhere.
Yeah, and just real still.
That was good. I liked that.
I like that sense of creepy, and then Alpha, of course, approaching from there. All right, so what about some outcomes to what happened?
Sure. Well, there's 3 ones I know of, but
yeah, I mean, one for certain is they got a prisoner of war essentially.
Yes.
They got a being Lydia.
Yes.
Which that's one big outcome of this episode. I would say.
That's one of them.
Yeah. For
and
sure.
Will she keep cracking under Daryl's scheme, or does she think that she's the sly one getting information out of Henry? Yeah. I don't know, but Henry's a dumbass. I know that much.
Yeah, he's. I'm not really rooting for.
I could see him like writing the address down to like all the different communities. This is how you get there. Let me draw a map for you. You know. Dumbass. Once he gets laid, then forget about it.
Yeah, it's done.
Then she's got him by the balls, literally.
She keeps saying her mom. Well, I wonder who her mom is, huh?
It's gotta be Alpha.
Yeah, I think it totally is.
We'll talk about that a little bit more when we watch the preview for tonight's show.
Yeah, you're right.
Another outcome, Negan chooses to be caged again, basically, after 6+ years, have basically wiped away the familiar way to survive. And then, of course, Daryl and Michonne that we already discussed are the only 2 that share those scars. And, well, the whole, like, thanks for after thing. I think something dark definitely happened to them. I don't think it's a Rick thing.
And I'm hoping we kind of find out more and more.
We're getting these little reveals about that.
Yeah, I like that. I think that's pretty awesome. All right. You say that's pretty good on outcomes there?
Yep.
All right. Well, I think before we start getting in some more nitty-gritty talk here, we need to, get you guys involved a little bit in something fun we always like to do here on PanNerdia. That being the Walker Talkers, and that is Fans Choice #1. So, we have this new threat amongst us, right, guys? And we also have some new friends amongst us.
That's right. Jackson, who's been on the Walker Talker show we've been doing for a year now, on and off.
Right.
He did have the flu last week, but he's gone missing. So he's going to be on a milk carton in one of your grocery stores soon.
Right.
But, being Paniversary #1 and being the Walker Talkers anniversary as well after a year, why don't we have something a little bit more familiar to the Walking Dead universe?
Okay.
And if we have different categories, maybe we should have different characters, so to speak.
Oh.
Introduce the fans' choice this week.
Let me take down this for you so everybody can see real quick. There we go. Oh, nice.
Looks like we have Rick, a zombie.
Walker is that the red machete in his eye?
You know what? What is it? Yeah, it looks like there's a screwdriver in his eye.
A screwdriver or something, yeah.
So you have a Rick, you have a Walker, you have a Daryl Dixon, and you have a Michonne. The official Walking Dead
Hallmark itty bitties.
Hallmark brand itty bitties. How sweet, how caring, how loving to go to Hallmark out of all the places and get a gold seal sticker to share something as sweet and wholesome as Rick and Michonne.
Stabbing walkers.
And the stabbing, wielding, weaponry Daryl.
Yeah. Hey.
So, the fans' choice. Basically, we were talking what? We were talking about
Whispers,
right?
Whispers. So their big thing this season, this second half of the season, we want to ask you guys, out of these 3 certain tactics / weapons, what would be the best choice to combat? If you only had one of these with limited resources, which one of these choices would you choose to help combat in the Whisperer plague, as you should say?
Well, when you think about this time that we're at in the original Walking Dead, they're running low on everything. So long-range weapons, anything that shoots bullets, is pretty much a no-no. If they have any, that's saved for something big, if they even have any.
Right, but so, I would say a long-range weapon would be good because something with a scope, because you could not only, which they kind of already been doing, but you could essentially scope out the herds and try to find the difference out of it. It's like, where's Waldo, kind of.
And if you're lucky and you peg one and they explode and they're like fresh meat, then you know that one's the real one because they're going to get munched on, right?
Right, I would say that. Because they would give up its place at that point.
And another weapon would probably be a homemade bomb of some sort, or
something,
bombs,
or like Molotov cocktail type things. You know, something that you can make. Well, Molotov not necessarily because of gas, but anything that you can get that's flammable, any kind of liquid or flammable substance. But I'm sure there's still those.
I wonder if that book that Georgie gave Maggie that left at the hilltop, there's a page like 79 has how to make homemade explosives with nothing at all on the apocalypse.
Right.
But that would be good because think about it, like all they have is short range, little sheath weapons in their wrists, little sheath wrist things, right?
Right.
And that's it. I mean, I know Alpha, I think she's got a big old shotgun or something. There might be a couple bigger leader characters that might have longer swords or spears, but really they just have a bunch of daggers and knives.
Yeah.
So if you blow a bomb, who cares if they're Whisperer Walker? They're the enemy, right?
Right. I mean, if we're throwing bombs into hordes of walkers,
take away their hordes and they're nothing.
Right, exactly. So that's good. I like that one. And then this next item, the last one we were thinking about, this one's not necessarily a weapon per se, but if it would help you pick them out, and then you can use what little weapons you have to get them, and that is some kind of like thermal or night vision goggles.
That's right.
Which, hey, they're in DC. They have to be available somewhere. A pair that's even like a Cabela's grade.
Yeah, like Bass Pro Shop, Cabela's. Hell, the Pentagon is across the river from where they're at.
Right.
They got to find some sort of Navy SEAL or regular huntersman version outdoors
goggles.
Thing. Yeah.
Think about it. You use those suckers on a horde.
Yeah.
You will pick out exactly who's a living human being out of there. Because they're saying these zombies, these walkers don't use their blood's not pumping through their veins, so that's not pumping warm fluids that will pick up on a thermal device.
Yeah, that's right. As we've seen in the first season, when the scientist at the CDC says like look at this image, of like this pure blackness that takes over in the brainstem and stuff. There's really nothing warm. They go cold fast, but they decay slow.
Right. So, though the only thing is you'd be left up to your own devices once you find out where they're at. At least you would know where they're at. So, we got these 3 options for you. We have long-ranged weapons to combat the Whisperers. We're not talking about just typical guns and sword, like long swords. We're talking about long-range, long-distance, almost scope weapons with scopes, essentially. Then we have the next choice, essentially explosives. You made some kind of MacGyver explosive that you can use to blast big hordes away and hopefully kind of blast out the bad apple, so to speak. And then lastly, we have the thermal goggles, which you could immediately pick out the enemy, but then you'd be left up to your own devices to get rid of them. And we want to ask you guys, what do you think out of those 3 would be the best to combat the Whisperers? Well, itty bitties, what do you think?
Well, I don't feel anything behind Rick. Well, because he gone. The zombie, well, the walker, he's dead. Well, something's between Daryl and Michonne. You want to feel it out there, Aaron? Oh, God.
Yes. Night vision / thermal.
Of course.
Good choice, guys. We agree.
As long as you have batteries or whatever, or ways to recharge it, I think you're going to have something that is an actual weapon because it's going to last and it's going to prove to help out in something like this, something unique like Whisperers.
I think so. I think ultimately, you'd be left to your own device, but if you know exactly where they're at and where they're coming, you can get the one up on them. And think about it. They already know, even without awesome long-range weapons and ammo, they know how to kill people and walkers with just little, like you said, hidden knives. So I think they'd be all right with some thermals.
Well, hey, thank you very much, cast of The Walking Dead.
Thanks, guys.
Season 9, that is. Until next time, maybe they'll join us again. Who knows? Maybe just one of them. Maybe none of them. Maybe Jackson will claim his job back.
Maybe Jackson. Who knows? Don't count on Jackson. All right. So, with every episode of The Walking Dead, we of course have our characters to discuss.
Yeah. Speaking of characters, right?
And I think that'd be a good transition into our character section.
Well, I mean, we don't really have to talk too much about Daryl and Michonne because we've already covered them.
That's fine.
In the synopsis.
Fair enough.
The same thing with Negan, when he escaped, reality check, and returned. So that's pretty much him.
I'll say one thing about Negan real quick.
Sure.
I even said this to Pete while we were watching. I hope it doesn't end up turning out like a governor post kind of...
a Woodbury kind of
Woodbury coming in, looking to Woodbury like, oh, this is what I used to have. And it almost teetered towards that, but Negan just kind of gave up. It kind of shows where Negan's at. He really is kind of whipped. Like, he used to whip people like dogs. He's kind of a dog now. To a degree, unless he has some other motive.
As far as Negan's concerned, if he is a dog, beat that fucking dog. I'm sorry. So anyway, Judith. She releases Negan, makes good on her promise to shoot. That's pretty much her. Obviously, she's the only friend he's had in the 6+ years.
Right.
Only one that really talked to him outside of, changing his bedpan or getting his lunch tray. Yumiko, not a huge part here, but she's accepted here as a hilltopper. I think that scene at the beginning where they're in the cemetery and they're retreating, besides Daryl and Michonne, I think she did the most. She helped out the most in getting out of there safely, or at least kind of. But also, I think she's Magna's girl. I know the Magna character has changed quite a bit as far as her background and stuff via the comic, except the fact that Kirkman made her lesbian last second, because he really didn't have any in the comic until that moment. On the show, we've got plenty of couples of the same sex on both sides going through, but in this case, I think Yumiko and her are new at it, and I think the proof is in the scene where Magna, that's the next character I'll talk about, chats with Enid, where she reveals she too has a new partner. So in other words, like Enid and Alden, that's a new thing. Yeah. Well, apparently, like Magna, like she's got a new relationship. She didn't reveal it to the audience yet, but I'm pretty sure it's Yumiko.
Right.
Luke, on the other hand, he follows Yumiko's arrows until he's captured. he had a fun Walker kill. I mean, that ball and chain one.
Yeah.
When he had to kill the one that was the one was
the
like
classic bicycle walker.
The good old boot stomp. He
Yeah,
stomped it and it had like snapped.
I feel like that was definitely a callback to the bicycle walker. You know, the one that Rick saw.
Yeah.
Crawling in the grass.
Yeah, the first one the first walker you ever see walking, crawling
and stuff. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, then there's DJ, kind of not worth it, but one of the three remnants of the Savior history. But he's been dependable, but he must die.
Yes.
Tammy, she's Grace Butler there, Grace Under Fire. She's Earl's wife, and she's the main person that seeks out justice, and she's that revenge seeker.
Yeah.
So with Maggie gone and Jesus dead,
she's like, Tara, you better hold up your end of the deal.
Yep, and speaking of Tara, she's pretty much the new leader at Hilltop, or she's the interim leader with the help from Daryl. What do you think? Is a co-leadership, or is he just there to help kick some ass?
I don't know what they're going to do with Daryl, but I think he's going to... Basically, Tara's going to do something that's going to piss Daryl off, and he's going to be like, I'm taking it. It's mine. I'm taking over. He's not going to literally say those words, but he's just going to essentially be like, I got it. Sorry about
Well, Aaron, how about Aaron? The death of Jesus brought him back to Earth, and he vowed to live the Michonne way. And that was basically all he had in the part after he brought him back in.
Right.
When he was ready to head back to Alexandria, he was like, how you're avoiding the fair, and over the years you want to just stay in our own walls. You're right.
Yeah.
We're just going to stay in our own walls, do our own thing. Well, now, it seems, ladies and gentlemen, they're going to be forced to unite, not because of a fair, but because of the Whisperers.
Or the Whisperers, because the Whisperers say they shouldn't be here.
That's right. Then we have Henry and Lydia. We kind of already touched on that. In jail again, he gets that kind of tricky confidence out of Lydia, and then Lydia is a teenager as well, but she's taken prisoner. She seems like she's faking everything she says and does.
Yeah, she's hard to read right now.
She's faking being a victim.
She's definitely faking being a victim, yes.
I think maybe tonight's episode will reveal that she really is a part of a hardcore group, and she knows what's up.
She's playing stupid right now, for sure.
And then I had to save these three for last in characters, but Rosita, Sadiq, and Eugene. I mean, Rosita, she continues to show her pimp playa ways.
Right.
I mean, Abe, Spencer maybe, Gabe, Sadiq, etc. It goes on. And Sadiq, he's the next character to talk about. He's going to be a daddy. That's all I have to say there.
Daddy,
She's like, remember when we had fun before Gabe?
Yeah.
He's like, here we go.
All right. And then, Gabe's going to be like, okay.
I thought you were going to say you wanted a threesome, but you're pregnant? Damn.
Right.
And then there's, of course, last but not least, Eugene. I mean, his knee got popped back into place. He hits a new low, though, about to grovel and profess to Rosita, yet interrupted by Rosita puking outside his window, confessing her pregnancy. Yep. So that's poor Eugene right there. But I have to say, there was a Eugene-ism.
Oh, there was, yes. I caught the episode, but I didn't catch it.
And it was, shit, what was it? It was, oh yeah, that's right. It was, one of the Magnus says, we got some tails, because there was like a walker herd.
Oh, yeah.
And he's riding on the horse with his knee all broken up. He goes, the new kind or the original recipe?
The original recipe. Oh, man. All right. Well, with every episode, we always have things we really appreciated about it. So as we start to tighten this thing up, let's throw some appreciations towards the show.
Appreciation.
Last week's show, episode 9 of season 9, and I will tell you guys one of my big appreciations, and it comes from a scene that almost mirrors the comic, not with the characters, of course, but with not with the particular characters, but with the way the characters are shot. And it's the scene when they're interrogating Lydia, and the way it was in the show, Daryl and Michonne and Tara standing on either side of Lydia, and Daryl on the other side of the prison gate. It was a cool shot, almost straight out of the comic, just you had the different characters there instead. And I really appreciated that, because despite how much the show is changing, they still do make the nods to the comic that I enjoy. And then, you know what else I appreciated? I appreciated the little bits of horror these Whisperers are bringing in, especially with the end scene of how they all kind of stood around and trapped Alden and Luke in their circle, and then with Alpha, of course, walking up at the end. It's bringing some spookiness back, and I can really appreciate that.
It is. Luke Skull Stomp, I already said that on that tag-along walker or ball and chain walker. Appreciated that. Appreciated the walker too. But the fact that, according to the directors and producers, that the history behind that walker was he stepped into the rib cage or whatever of the other walker instead of them sort of dying kind of like that or whatever. So then he just became a part of him, attached to him. Another is Daryl's arrow to the leg test. Love that. Yeah. And then finally the sanctuary being deserted and lifeless, especially the puking in the clearing, the official clearing spot. Like, that was a little satisfying. Like, I'm getting these little satisfying moments that aren't.
Oh, I forgot about that scene. Yes, the scene where
he drinks stream water,
and he ended up throwing up, and he was thrown up in the spot where he
bashed Glenn and Nate.
Yes,
like the exact spot.
Yeah, I did like that. That was a good. You called that out. And I was like, Pete's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the spot.
That's the clearing spot. And it's in that episode. I think it was called that clearing too.
That was a good spot. Yes, I appreciate that as well, Pete. Good spot. Good spot.
That's pretty much my appreciations.
Okay. Well, as we're coming to a close here, let's go ahead and show you guys a preview for next week's episode, as well as do some predictions and, well, our final blast of the night. If we have something to finally blast at all. So let me go ahead and...
I've always got something to blast.
Yes. Let's go ahead and throw the preview.
Hold on until he gets curly locks.
Whoa.
It's time to blast.
What? Oh, whoops, I didn't do it yet.
Oh.
Where's it at? Why isn't it coming up? Oh, because I have it up in there. Let me do it one more time, guys. Wait, here we go. All right. Yep, so we got some more interrogations with Lydia. Ooh, there's Alpha coming up.
Alpha is bold.
Yeah,
I guess it makes it easier to change
Slip
out.
on and off. And that's when Lydia's like, you don't want to know my mama, basically. Oh, dang. Yep, whispers are coming to Hilltop.
I wonder if they're going to do a prisoner exchange or they're just there to get Lydia and, well, do some damage.
Right.
I mean, I doubt they're walking around with ladders and stuff, so all they have to do is shut the gate.
Pretty much. I'm sure it's just whispers saying, you guys better watch your backs if we're going to be out there.
Right.
Basically.
Intimidation time, huh?
So I guess that brings us into our predictions right off the bat. So yeah, we think that the whispers will show up, though they can't really get over the walls. I think they will ask for a some sort of discourse where they can, tell them and warn them, if you will, of what's to come.
Oh, totally. Alpha brings her intimidation tactics, and I wonder, and I would like to predict that she uses the same intimidation tactic that she used on Rick, but in this case on whatever current leader or leaders, and that is in the comic, she takes Rick up a building that's like, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 stories tall, and they go on the roof, and before they walked into the building, it was just her and him, and you couldn't see anyone for a very long way. By the time they got to the top and looked out from the roof, there was like 1,000 walkers led by her whispers. And she's like, see what I can do like that? Don't mess with me. Oh, so that would be neat if she had something like that tonight's episode, which probably started a few minutes ago.
And sorry guys. And even if it wasn't in tonight's, maybe it'll be soon. I mean, if anything, I think we'll definitely get some history on Alpha. And how maybe we'll do that since they're introducing her character. Maybe we'll get some backstory on her as well.
Absolutely. Another thing is maybe Lydia deflowers Henry. Is that a prediction I'll take? Yes, I'll take that prediction.
Sure, I'll go with that.
Daryl has more lines than dog. There's another prediction for you. I don't know. We'll count the barks. If he has more barks than his words, then man, that's gonna be like we're gonna next week's show is gonna be just about that and nothing else. No synopsis, no outcomes, no character analysis.
It's gonna be about the long-lasting relationship of Daryl and Dog.
Daryl and Dog. They should make a little sideshow.
Daryl and Dog.
A little spin-off.
Oh gosh. All right. Well, guys, as we're closing off our show here, we're out of predictions. We got a previews. We got nothing but the final blast. And Pete, you indeed brought something special.
I did. I wrote something down. I don't know if it's worth talking about.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
I said, so far, Whispers do not have long-range weapons. Well, we already went on that case. We said, yet the discreet knives sheathed in their wrists are what they do have. If numbers is their only main tactic over our survivors on the show right now, should we be able to burn or blast them? Well, we kind of already did that in Fans' Choice, so why don't we bring the fans to PanNerdia tonight and do something that we've never done before on the Walker Talkers and kind of have a melting of different nerdy things that we're all about here on PanNerdia. And, well, besides walkers and, you know, Dragon Ball Universe and reviewing shows and movies and whatnot, and the canvas blasts are my favorite. We like to, well, give gifts to our creator of PanNerdia. And, well, here's a Happy Meal, and, well, I'm not sure what the toy is inside, but I'm sure there's some killer fries in there.
Oh,
would you like to reveal it?
Let's check out what's in the Happy Meal, shall we, guys?
It's a special PanNerdia Happy Meal.
Okay. I'm gonna open it up here. Okay, I'm gonna dig in. Got some napkins, okay.
Usually I don't give a napkin, you have to ask one, but so that's nice. And that's the reveal. See you later.
Oh, we got some fries.
Some fries,
nice.
yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Best fries in the world. 6-piece nuggets.
6-piece nugget, I'll take it.
Yep. And usually there's some sort of like a toy or a gift or a game or there's a what? Oh, you got the girl and the boy toy.
There's what?
Bingo.
Hey, thanks.
Yeah.
Mickey D's, Pete.
Maybe a late night reveal or another night you would like to do a reveal or an opening of these two buddy boys.
I will.
Good old school Yamcha from DB the OG and, well, our favorite Android 18.
Hell yeah, dude. I would definitely love to open these on a stream very soon. Maybe some content for later in this week on YouTube. No, I think I'll do a lot of the Paniversary stuff. But this will be definitely on Twitch this week sometimes. Right on, Pete.
Yeah, and you know what? There's two that are not necessarily in your collection, I don't think.
No, I don't have Yamcha or 18.
I don't think you do have any of those. So I thought, you know what? It might not be the most baller characters of all time, but they're definitely part of the family. And, well, hey, they're Z-Fighters, aren't they? And they're part of the group here at PanNerdia Studios.
I love it, man. Look, guys, we had such a blast with the Paniversary today, the 1-year Paniversary. We streamed for, what was it, 7.5 hours?
Since just before 10 a.m. or right at 10 a.m.
Right at 10 a.m. started streaming. 7.5 hours, Robert says, blort. 7.5 hours on Twitch straight through. 2 hours of painting, an hour of time lapse, 2 hours of gaming, 30 minutes of gaming time lapse. We had an hour of card opening. We had another 30 minutes montage.
You had reveals. You had the Dokkan game.
Game. We did all sorts of stuff. We did everything that the YouTube channel had to do, and then we came over here to finish it with what started PanNerdia, the Walker Talkers. And, well, the Walker Talkers in tradition here in PanNerdia is one of our review shows, and we are here to announce on the YouTube channel the Game of Thrones review show. Though it'll only be one season.
Because winter's coming. It's coming.
And though I would have loved to do a review of that show from the beginning.
Oh my God, that would be.
And there was only one season during the PanNerdia's lifetime that's come out, and this season is coming out soon. Well, we're gonna do the final season of Game of Thrones proper with a nice review show. We don't have a name for it yet, a cool name. We will think of something cool though. But Game of Thrones season 8, be there. I will be finishing CommandCon the first night it premieres. So the following weekend, that's when we will review the show. So there's the last special announcement of the day. Otherwise, PanNerdia will be right back at you guys. You enjoy The Walking Dead tonight. You enjoy the rest of your Sunday evening.
Paniversary 1.
Paniversary done.
And out.
It's done, see you guys. Man, what a day. And thank you guys for joining me. Thank you, Platinum Productions. Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Pete. And thanks to everybody else who helped make this happen. Peace, guys.
Yeah.